which is OptiTrack, and hit characterize, and it's going to be a biped. It won't show up by itself automatically, so you have to go here and hit character, and you gotta check the definition. As you can see here, everything, these parts are yellow, these parts are yellow, and we have to fix that, otherwise the motion capture won't retarget correctly, because you'll have twisted joints and everything. So unlock character, just hitting this little lock button over here, and then to fix the legs, you actually have to rotate the hips, not the legs. So we'll click on the hips here, and you see it lights up. We're going to go to the front view, Control F, zoom in a bit, and make sure that your rotation is in local mode, not global.
June, can you close the door?
Right now it's in global. You see if I rotate like this, the axes are still centered. So that's why we have to go to global. And now you see the axes are not centered. Just make sure they're centered. Once it lights up green, you're good to go. Now we'll do both the arms. And the reason why I say we should keep the ground plane of the z-axis, the direction that we should, which is facing that way, towards the wall and not the computers, is because in Motion Builder, it usually says the hips have to be in the positive z-axis. That's why we do it that way. Have that light up green. Once that's green, like Jack said, you have to relock it. Right now, it's unlocked, just like a regular padlock.
Are the shoulders okay right now?
Yeah, they'll be fine. Biped. To get out of the front view, you could press Control E for perspective. And now, if you play it, let me take off story mode. Everything goes back to the way it is. It's just for characterization purposes. That's why we do the character. Now, how do we map this skeleton onto a rig or anything that you like? I actually have it hidden here. Oh, and when you're bringing in your rigs into Motion Builder, do not drag and drop. That would just overwrite the file. What you want to do is go to Merge, File Merge, and say this. Open, and you have these takes here. Take 001 and example. That's a different take. What you want to do is uncheck these, because take 001, if you have not renamed your takes in Motion Builder beforehand, take 001 will overwrite your take 001 in Motion Builder. So whatever work you did on that take will be overwritten, and you'll have a blank take. And then hit merge, and the file will already show up by itself. I already brought it in, so I'll just bring this up. It doesn't, I mean, this is a good example because the character rig is smaller than our skeleton. That's completely fine. Here, you see a Spartan rig. And the way we get this rig to move along with our motion capture skeleton is to characterize the skeleton on the rig itself. Here, its skeleton name goes by Mixamo Hips. And we'll just do the same thing as we did before. Left click, drag and drop on top of the hips. Characterize that. Biped. And I'll just rename this as the first one as OptiTrack character. With Motion Builder, you have to right click. Double clicking with your left mouse won't work as for naming conventions or anything else like it would in Maya. So keep that in mind. And it's important to rename your characters, otherwise it could be really confusing when it comes to time for targeting. So you can see here, things are still messed up, right? Do the same thing as we did before. doesn't have to be accurate. As long as it lights up green and you get it close enough, it should be fine. Biped. Great, we're done now. Now, we're going to go back into Navigator. This is basically your outliner in Maya. And you're going to hit on the OptiTrack character, or you could rename it as the source, because it will be the driving character. So over here on the right side, you see character definition, character settings. You're going to want to stay in settings. And its input type, it stands, right? Leave it as that. This is your source character. Don't touch anything on it. You want your model rig to be driven, so you hit on Spartan character. Check the input type, it's still on stance, so that means nothing is going to happen. Click on that, you'll see active character, control rig, and courage skeleton. You want to change, right now you want to change that to the character, and you see its input sources automatically change to OptiTrack character. That means this character right now is going to be driven by the motion from our motion capture skeleton. And if I play through this, oh no, oops, forgot to hit active. That's the other thing, you have to hit active, so now you can see this. And if this feels really messy to you, all you have to do is hit Control A once. That hides most of the skeletons underneath the geometry, and you hit Control A again, you hide all skeletons. Now, if you want this character to move, right, you basically all you have to do is, it's almost like baking animation to any type of and like Maya, but you have to bake the animation from the source skeleton to our control rig skeleton. So what you want to do is hit plot character, and we could either plot it to the skeleton or the control rig. If you want to work in Motion Builder solely, you will plot it to the control rig. That basically what the control rig does for you is Motion Builder will create a control rig with IK handles, giving you both FK and IK options, but it won't be the best type of rig you could have. I prefer to bake it to the skeleton, and what it gives you the option to plot on frame or plot on all ticks. Plot on frame basically means you're plotting this single tick by itself. When you say plot all ticks as well, it lets you plot all the ticks you have in one go to that skeleton. I prefer doing it this way because I like to work with 2 or 4 characters at once, and I don't want to get messy. And I'm going to plot it at 24 frames per second. Everything else should be at default. And I can hit plot. Now, if you see here, the Spartan character, its input type changed from character and OptiTrack, and it's no longer active because we don't need that. If I change it to stance, it will still play by itself, because now these skeletons all have keyframes on every single frame by themselves. Now say for instance, sometimes